If we're asked to find the standard form of an equation of a circle with center -2, -3, and a point on the circle 1, 4, I would suggest you draw a sketch and then label what you know. You know this is HK and this is XY. So if that's the case, we can figure out how far we have to go over and up to get to that point. Final minus initial is 1 minus -2, which makes this side 3. Final minus initial is 4 minus -3, which makes this side 7. So we can easily find our radius. R squared is equal to 3 squared plus 7 squared. So R squared is equal to 9 plus 49 is 58. And R is the square root of 58. We already established that HK, the center, is -2, -3. So if we're going to plug and chug into our formula, x minus h squared equals, x minus h plus y minus k squared equals r squared. That would simplify to x minus -2 squared plus y minus -3 squared equals the square root of 58 squared. And when we clean that up, we'll have x plus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 58. Notice a little trick I'll use. If you're given an equation and we start here, sort of working the other way, if they ask what is HK, the little trick I use is to say, whatever's in the parentheses, x plus 2 equals 0, x equals -2. That will be our h. And y plus 3 equals 0, y equals -3 will be our k. If we're dealing with this same example and they ask us for the x-intercepts, well, we found that this is the equation. If we want the x-intercept, that means we're going to put in 0 for y. I can tell by looking at my picture that I'm going to have 2 x-intercepts. So if I put a 0 for y, I'll have x plus 2 squared plus 0 plus 3 squared equals 58. So x plus 2 squared plus 9, that's 3 squared, equals 58. And if I subtract 9 from both sides, I'll have 49 is equal to x plus 2 squared. 58 minus 9 is 49. Now, I'll take the square root of both sides. Don't forget when you do that, when you're solving an equation, you're going to do plus or minus the square root of 49, which will leave you with x plus 2 equals plus or minus 7. So x is equal to -2 plus or minus 7. So that's -2 plus 7 is 5, and -2 minus 7 is -9. So I know that these points are 5, 0. Don't forget, when we're finding the x-intercept, we're putting 0 in for y. And here I'm getting -9, 0. If I'm asked to find the y-intercepts, I can tell by looking at my picture, I have 2 real y-intercepts. So what I'll do to find them is to put an x equals 0 to find the y-intercepts. Well, that creates a 0 plus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 58. And now when I square 2, I get 4 plus y plus 3 squared equals 58. When I subtract 4 from both sides, I wind up with y plus 3 squared equals 54. So if I square root both sides, don't forget you have to take plus or minus. I do know that the square root of 54 is the square root of 9 times the square root of 6, which is 3 square roots of 6. So I'll get y plus 3 is equal to plus or minus 3 square roots of 6. So y is equal to -3 plus or minus 3 square roots of 6. When I graph here, I have 0 for x, -3 plus 3 root 6 is that point there, and this point here is -3 minus 3 root 6. this is our y-intercept, so our 0 is for x. Notice what we're doing here. We're saying start at -3 and add essentially root 54, and you'll get that y-intercept, and start at -3 and subtract root 54, which is 3 root 6, and you'll get this intercept.